This right here is the most dysfunctional team I've ever seen. It is time to blow everything up.
I'm Richard Jefferson in for Malika Andrews. And one thing I can guarantee you is that we're going to have some high energy on the show because you know what? That's what this show needs. And look, I've been joined by a few people. Mr. Vince Carter.
Hold on, man.
Where's my guy Big Perk at? Oh, he doesn't even want to show up. This guy doesn't even work. But first, we got to talk about the highlights from last night. Let's get to the Brooklyn Nets. They're 2-6 this season, and it's just not been pretty so far. Jacques Vaughn taking over as the interim head coach for right now. And look, Nets hosting Bulls. It just couldn't get going for Kyrie. Kyrie had one of his, let's just say, worst performances as a Net. Struggled through the first three quarters. 0 points, 0 for 7 from the field. Now, as a person that played with Kyrie for 2 years, that's one of the worst, performances I've seen from him. And Kevin Durant doing what Kevin Durant does. Steps in, does that little left hang dribble three.
RJ, he's going to have to be the guy, the catalyst to kind of lead them over the hump until further notice.
Yeah, further notice means every single day. That's what's going to happen with him. And then look, again, this game was Nets up by 6 against the Bulls. You can't stop what Kevin Durant does. And look, he was doing his thing through 3 quarters. He carried them 8 for 13, 30 points. Now we're going to jump to the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter.
This guy here.
This guy. Zach LaVine. I know a lot of people were worried because he didn't start the season, wasn't healthy, but just needed a couple more days of rest. He is looking good so far. This man, right-hand dribble. We know his in-between game is elite. Zach LaVine trying to get to another all-star game this year. But the Bulls got some work to do. But look at the deep three.
But he can do that too now.
Oh, he can do it right now. 100%. Bulls win by 9. And when you look at Kyrie Irving's numbers last night, 4 points, his worst as a Net, 17%. Now look, Kyrie just had 30 points 2 games ago, so we know that the guy can score, but this was one of his probably bigger disappointing performances, especially considering every single that's been going on. So now Big Perk wants to show up. Where's Big Fella? How's my Big Fella doing? Okay.
Would you stop with all the Big Fella and Big Perk and all this, man? I'm losing weight. Don't start today.
So my little guy Perk here, right? My little guy Perk. What do you think is wrong with the Nets?
Kyrie Irving is what's wrong with the Nets, and let me explain why. One, let's stop connecting KD and Kyrie Irving together. I think Kevin Durant has shown us that he don't want to be this Michael Jordan type leader that's going to get in your face. Kevin Durant is a guy that just want to show up and play the game of basketball and let his game do the talking. But when you look at Kyrie Irving, this is education for all the young athletes. If you don't have a clear mind, and if you have other situations that are going on outside the line, those things could come and affect your game, which can affect the team and can affect the win and loss column. Right now, the thing what I saw out of Kyrie Irving last night was that he wasn't there. He wasn't engaged. He didn't really want to play the game last night. Now, is it because everything that's happening for us with his statements and his social media and things to that nature? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I agree with Vince Carter just said. Kevin Durant is going to have to be that guy that continues to elevate his game to get them through wherever they're going through right now until they decide how they want to move forward in this franchise.
Oh, no, that's fair. Now, Vince, 22 years. You were in every locker room possible. Give us what's going on in that locker room. How can this be salvaged? How can this be fixed? If you were a vet in this locker room and you got traded there today, what would you say to them?
As a vet, you're going to use your voice and you're going to have all the isms and everything you can possibly give to your team. But it doesn't matter because you have Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant has to lead. Like Perk said, he might not lead with his voice, but he can lead by example, whether he's showing up into the locker room, the practice, or whatever, and set an example, going hard, getting at guys and say, hey, yeah, the old is gone. This is the new. This is our approach. And, it doesn't have to be with his voice, like I said. Remember that. But the way you approach the game, the way you approach practice from this day forward means something, because me, the veteran, can say whatever, and it's going to sound like rah, rah, rah until we look at KD, the superstar, and he changes his ways and he actually moves this franchise forward.
No, it is going to be. There is a lot of things, This is not just their poor play, their summer, their last couple of seasons. It seems like this thing doesn't stop. But after we were off the air yesterday, the GM, Sean Marks, and KD addressed Steve Nash being out in Brooklyn.
To be quite frank, the team was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. You know, we've fallen from our goals, of meeting our goals, and it was time now, because we still have lofty aspirations of where we need to get to.
Let's be real, we pros, we're veterans, you know, we had a tough start. It was a rocky year last year, rocky summer. We knew that everybody was being evaluated. That's just how it is in the league, you know, so, you know, I like working with Steve. I like working with the coaching staff. It was a roller coaster the last few years, but, you know, the core of it, basketball, is something that we all love to do, you know, so regardless of who the coach, regardless of, you know, the circumstances, still got to come to work. So I enjoy coming to work with Steve.
All right, we are now joined by the brains of this operation, Woj and Ramona Shelburne. Look, Adrian, I want to get to the coaching search in a moment, but peel back the curtain just a little bit. How do we get 8 games into the season and Brooklyn is already looking for a head coach?
Richard, I think Steve Nash was just a coach who could ill afford the kind of start the Nets had. And I think so much a part of that and how poor they've been defensively, which has certainly, I think, led to their unraveling, led to this 2-6 record, has been the play and non-play of Ben Simmons.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. November 2nd, 2022. The day after Steve Nash gets fired, Ime Udoka, clearly he's going to get hired in the next, I don't know, couple hours, and he's going to join them on the road trip. Is this a fixable thing that Ime can rectify? I don't know. That's a tough task. I still think that they stand a chance. I still think that they can actually move forward and push towards the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, you got to remember, this is just November. The trade deadline's in February. Sean Marks can make some trades here and there. Everybody says that Ime Udoka cannot fix this team. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. You're talking about two of the greatest players to play the game, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But, you know, I think they do stand a chance. However, Ime Udoka has a bigger issue to deal with other than himself. He's gonna, you know, basically try to fix his reputation and whatnot, kind of thing. He already apologized for it, but with the Nets, it's Kyrie Irving. It's Kyrie Irving, 100%. I think he had like 4 or 6 points yesterday. He was like pretty much sulking on the bench during the Bulls game. I don't know if he feels bad for the whole Steve Nash thing, but if you ask me, it's like he's majority the person to blame for this, right? Nets organization you can blame for this. They put the roster together. They did not deal with Kyrie. You know, they didn't even suspend him for the anti-Semitic post that he put up on his platform. And, you know, it's kind of like they didn't deal with it. Steve Nash pretty much is a scapegoat. I was watching TNT inside the NBA, and they called him an idiot, Charles Barkley and Shaq. So Kyrie Irving, he opened a can of worms, 100%. And now because of that, Steve Nash is gone. I think that was the last situation. And Sean Marks said basically, I'm facing so much pressure now because of this. I got to make a move. And pretty much I got to fire Steve Nash and bring in Ime Udoka. You know, everybody's just hot off this topic. They're blaming the Nets, their organization. They're blaming Kyrie Irving 100%. They're blaming Kevin Durant for not taking a stand. And, you know, Steve Nash lost control of the locker room. That Ben Simmons trade did not vote well for the Nets. It seems like everything has gone wrong for the Nets, right? Watching ESPN First Take, and they pretty much said it, that Jared Allen was a phenomenal player. Instead, they chose Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant's buddy, DeAndre Jordan, to give him $10 million to play over Jared Allen. And now look at Jared Allen right now, right? He's an all-star on the Cavs. And they had one hell of a roster. Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris. Well, he's still on the team. But ever since Kyrie joined that team, he brought in Kevin Durant. And it's just been downhill ever since. 100% it's been downhill ever since. So the most accountable person for the demise of the Nets is Kyrie Irving. And I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. I'd love to hear your comments on this. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me if you guys think that Kyrie Irving is the most to blame for the Nets' demise. And is Ime Udoka the answer for the Nets? I think he will push them to the playoffs, but it all depends on Kyrie Irving. I don't know, right? Like, it depends on his mood, depends on what's happening in the world. He might just take time off. I have no idea. this is one of the most biggest teams I've ever seen in the drama. Every year it's drama this, drama that, drama this, drama that. It doesn't stop. So leave a comment in the comment section. Is Kyrie the most accountable to blame when it came to Steve Nash's firing? Did he cause Steve Nash to get fired? Leave a comment in the comment section. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.